What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, today we had the weigh-in for the highly anticipated unification showdown between undefeated, unified WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, Errol the True Spence Jr., who is widely considered by many to be top 3 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Errol Spence Jr. has 27 wins, no loss and no draw, 21 big wins by way of knockout. He is 32 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach, and shockingly, his opponent, WBA, World Boxing Association's welterweight world champion, Cuban star boxer Yordenis Ugas, who has 27 wins, 4 losses, no draw, 12 wins by way of knockout, 35 years of age, 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. At least that's what he's listed at. Okay, Errol Spence Jr., he weighed 146.2. Yordenis Ugas, he weighed 146.8. Okay, now it's just not the weight that's shocking, that Yordenis Ugas is seemingly clearly the bigger fighter, right? Now, you look at the measurements, Errol Spence is measured at 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach. But Yordenis Ugas, when they face to face and side by side, Yordenis Ugas, who's listed at 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. Now, I'm sure Errol Spence does have a longer arm reach, but when they side by side, Yordenis Ugas looks like the much bigger fighter. Okay, he looked clearly like he's bigger. He's slightly taller. He looks like he's just a little bit thicker, and the weigh-in it showed. Like, Errol Spence, he weighed 146.2. Yordenis Ugas 146.8. Okay, but is this going to matter? See, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, you see, Yordenis Ugas is the bigger fighter, okay? And I'm seeing a lot of his peers saying, see, Yordenis Ugas is a bigger, stronger guy. And I heard when Yordenis Ugas and his trainer, Salas, they said Yordenis Ugas is bigger with a longer reach. And that's going to be a problem to go along with Yordenis Ugas' heart. Is going to be an issue for Errol Spence Jr., okay? Now, with that said, this is shocking, right? Because I thought that they were at least the same size, or clearly Errol Spence was, just a bigger, stronger guy, okay? Is this going to be a factor in this fight? Well, Yordenis Ugas doesn't display his size all the time, okay? When Yordenis Ugas was in the ring with 2-time welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, Showtime Sean Porter, who is listed at 5'7" with a 68, 69-inch arm reach, okay? Yordenis Ugas was clearly the bigger guy, but Yordenis Ugas didn't display that, okay? Yordenis Ugas, he doesn't always fight big, okay? He's a very skilled, technically sound, skilled boxer, okay, with a high ring IQ, coming from that Cuban school of boxing, arguably the best school of boxing in all of boxing, okay? So with that said, when he fought against Sean Porter, now he did use his range, but more so it was his ability to box, okay? His ability to put combinations together, okay? His ability to counterpunch Showtime Sean Porter. That's what gave Sean Porter the trouble that Sean Porter had with Yordenis Ugas, that led many people to believe that Sean Porter should not have gotten a nod at the end of the day. Many people feel like Sean Porter should have gotten another L in the loss column, in that second column, okay, when you check on BoxRec, okay? But nonetheless, Sean Porter, he got the nod, okay? So with that said, okay, you look at Yordenis Ugas, he had a few other fights, okay, with guys that are not as big as Yordenis Ugas. So we know he's just not a big puncher, okay, to begin with. But on top of not being a very big puncher, you can clearly see that Yordenis Ugas is not a very physical fighter, okay? When he fought against 8-division world champion, legendary, iconic Filipino superstar boxer, Manny Pacquiao, okay? Manny Pacquiao is 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach, okay? Yordenis Ugas, he used his skill set. He didn't get physical with Manny Pacquiao. He used his skill set. He used his height. He used his reach. He used his range. He controlled the pace of the fight and the distance of the fight, okay? And that's how he beat Manny Pacquiao. He simply outboxed Manny Pacquiao, the legend, the icon, okay, from the outside. But when Manny Pacquiao did work his way on the inside, Yordenis Ugas shelled up, and Manny Pacquiao, he was teeing off. Now, Manny Pacquiao, he couldn't keep up that pace, okay? He just simply could not keep up the pace. He just didn't have it in him, okay, to sustain that attack, okay? But with that said, Manny Pacquiao has always struggled with pure boxers. He's always struggled with pure boxers. He's always struggled with technically skilled counterpunch boxers. That's always been an Achilles heel of Manny Pacquiao the duration of his career. So it wasn't shocking to see Yordenis Ugas, who come from the Cuban school of boxing, outbox Manny Pacquiao, the legend, okay? Because we saw this before with Manny Pacquiao. Eric Morales badly outboxed him. And then we know the legend, the retired, iconic Hall of Fame superstar, Floyd Mayweather, he badly outboxed Manny Pacquiao as well. And we know the 4 fights, you can make a case that he had with Juan Manuel Marquez, another Hall of Famer, that, well, Marquez won those fights, okay? We know the last fight was decisive because Juan Manuel Marquez brutally knocked out Manny Pacquiao, okay? So with that said, it wasn't shocking to see Yordenis Ugas outbox and outclass Manny Pacquiao, especially seeing as though Manny Pacquiao was coming off a, excuse me, a 2-year layoff, and he was 40 years of age. So with that said, Yordenis Ugas, he outboxed and got a victory, unanimous decision over Manny Pacquiao. Then Yordenis Ugas, he faced a guy in similar stature in Ramos, okay? He faced Abel Ramos, okay, who was 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. He was outboxing Ramos as well, okay? But in the last round, you saw Ramos, he was able to get to Yordenis Ugas, and he clipped Yordenis Ugas, and he hurt Yordenis Ugas in the last round, okay, of that fight. He nearly knocked out Yordenis Ugas, okay? So with that said, you know, Yordenis Ugas has never displayed being a very physical type of fighter. Then you look at Yordenis Ugas' fight with Omar Figueroa Jr., who moved up in weight, and he's 5'7" with a 73-inch arm reach. I don't know how true that is, his arm reach of being 73 inches. That's extremely long. That's longer than that's about the same length as Jerron Boots Ennis, Terrence Crawford, and Jamal Charlo and Jamal Charlo. I don't know how true that is of Omar Figueroa Jr. He doesn't look like he has 74-inch arm reach, okay? But he's a smaller guy. And when Yordenis Ugas, he faced off against Figueroa, he was hitting Figueroa with big, clean punches, okay? Just clean, just clipping Figueroa. And at the end of the day, he couldn't stop Omar Figueroa. He just wasn't physical with Omar Figueroa. He's a clean boxer. He's a finesse, IQ, high, technically sound boxer. That's what Yordenis Ugas brings to the ring. So a lot of people that are concerned with the size of Yordenis Ugas and saying Yordenis Ugas, Blue, he's just as big, or he's bigger than Errol Spence. This is a concern. Is Errol Spence going to have trouble with the size of Yordenis Ugas? I don't believe that, okay? And I'll have my prediction for this fight tomorrow. But with that said, Yordenis Ugas, he just simply doesn't use his size, okay? He's not like Sebastian Fundora. Now, Sebastian Fundora, he completely gives up his height at 6'6" with an 80-inch arm reach, fighting at 154. Okay, fighting guys like his last opponent, Erickson the Hammer Lubin, who was 5'9.5" with a 74-inch arm reach. Okay, 73-inch arm reach. He had a 7-inch height advantage, and he had a 7-inch arm reach advantage. But he fights his fight predominantly on the inside. Okay. Well, that's not Yordenis Ugas. He will mix it up on the inside at times, and he is flat-footed, but he just doesn't use his physicalities, okay? He's not in there just bruting you around and moving you around and pressuring you with his size and his physicalities. That's not what he's doing. He wants to get you on the inside, and he wants to use his ring IQ. He wants to counter you. He wants to use combinations. He's still a finesse fighter on the inside, although he appears to be the bigger fighter, okay? Now, this is not the first time Errol Spence, he faced a guy that's very big, okay? Very strong and very technically sound, because for his first title opportunity, he fought against the special one, British superstar, former IBF welterweight world champion, that being Special K, Kell Brook, okay, for his first title opportunity over in the UK in hostile environment, okay, and he beat and stopped Kell Brook. Kell Brook is a very big welterweight, just like Yordenis Ugas at 5'9.5" with a 69-inch arm reach. They actually have a lot of comparisons, okay, a lot of similarities. Now, Kell Brook has more power than Yordenis Ugas, but Yordenis Ugas is quicker than Kell Brook, okay? I think he has faster hands than Kell Brook. And Kell Brook, he was troubling Errol Spence in the first half of that fight. Some people even thought that Kell Brook was winning that fight at that point, okay? But in the second half of the fight, Errol Spence, he started to break down Kell Brook and ultimately stopped Kell Brook in the 11th round of their fight, breaking his orbital bone. So is the size and going to matter against Errol Spence for Yordenis Ugas at this weigh-in? Weighing at 146.8, Errol Spence at 146.2. Is the size difference going to matter? I say no. But my official breakdown will be tomorrow. My official prediction will be tomorrow. The official outcome in this fight will be tomorrow. I will tell you tomorrow. But Yordenis Ugas, he seems to be the bigger guy visually. Okay, he weighed in slightly heavier than Errol Spence Jr. But this is also a testament to Errol Spence's commitment and loyalty to the sport, newfound loyalty and love to the sport. Okay, so with that said, let's see how this unfolds and plays out. Errol Spence Jr. weighs 146.2. Yordenis Ugas weighs 146.8. And the size won't matter because that's not the style. That's not the makeup of Yordenis Ugas. He will stand flat-footed in front of Errol Spence, but he's not physical. He's still a finesse fighter. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.